Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 39 of Almost a Party. We've got most of our group here today, and hopefully, our fifth member will join us a little bit later. We'll see if they're able to make it or not. But we are all back, ready to have some fun. Where we last left our players, they had returned to Drusus after finishing up on the pilgrimage for Alondiel. While in Drusus, they decided to start researching some information that they were given Finn about various places in the world and tasked to go to them by Arenwile. While in Drusus, they were also summoned to the counselors. Upon going and meeting with the counselors, they found out that one of the Golden Shields and a friend of the party, Agile, had passed away. As the players went about their days, they made plans to attend the funeral out in the wilds. And that is where we pick up today. So, Sadzi, you have the knowledge of trees in various places near and around Bracknell, and so you're able to teleport the party fairly quickly there. You have a day in Bracknell before the funeral. Is there anything that you want to do? This is, after all, your home.
Hmm. I mean, I already know my dad was killed by the gnolls. Um, I guess be nice to see if everything is still standing. Please don't kill off another one of my family members. Um, See if like maybe her mom or her brother's around.
Okay. Yeah, so as you approach the city, you do see that there is damage to the city, but it's not as severe as you might have thought from the reports you were getting about the battles and the city under siege. But you can definitely tell that there were many battles fought here, and lots of buildings have taken damage throughout the months of the fighting. As you make your way through the city and towards your home, you find there is a bit of damage on the outside, but nothing to uh, interrupt its integrity, and so it's still standing. You go. Do you knock or do you just walk in?
I'd probably knock since the whole, banishment thing.
Okay. All right. So you go, you knock on the door. A woman answers the door. You recognize as your mother, and she sees you, and you see a wave of relief come over her, and she just reaches out and embraces you.
And I'd hug her back and say, "Yeah, I was in the area, figured I'd check in.
I'm
And
glad you came.
yeah, I'm sorry about dad. I mean, I know things weren't exactly great between us, but yeah.
Yeah, your dad died when he was trying to go and make amends and get you to come home. It's been tough, but we're surviving.
Yeah. Um, did he have any, well, I guess doesn't really matter. Is there like a pension you're getting from the city or anything since he was the leader? And I'm not sure how he ended up in a Knoll Camp. Or no, that was the.
No, he was in the Knoll camp, is where you found his body.
Okay. I'm not sure how he ended up in the Knoll Camp if he was trying to find me, but I don't know. Maybe he thought I'd been there recently.
Well, we knew that when you left, you were heading out towards Kuche. So a few weeks passed after you had left, he came after you, hoping to just find your trail and find any information he could about where you are and where you'd been, where you'd gone. And since the only thing we knew was Kuche, he decided to go. We didn't know how dangerous it was at the time. It's been a long year.
Yes, it has been a very long year. Um, I mean, I'm sorry that happened. I wish we'd gotten a chance to speak. He was really adamant about um not coming back, so I figured I should at least give him, a couple months or so to chill out.
Yeah, your father always did let emotions just take the better of him. It took a while, but we were able to convince him that he acted too rashly too soon before we knew the full extent of what had happened to you. He did it out of claiming safety for the entire village, but
I figured he was just scared,
yeah, for sure.
which, I mean, I get it and I don't get it. So,
I mean, he was also angry at himself. He couldn't
well,
protect you.
yeah, but Dad's been encouraging me to go hunt for since I was like little, like big enough to hold a bow. I figured he thought that he taught me enough that he thought I'd be able to take care of myself. I mean, I went out hunting all the time. So, I mean, sorry there wasn't a way to contact me, but yeah, I was I was angry at him too for kicking me out and for well, the way it seemed like he was blaming me for what happened out in the wild and getting turned. I mean, I don't know if that was just angry at what happened or angry at me or angry at whatever did this, but yeah, that's part of why I cleared out.
Well, I am glad you're here. And you brought friends, I see.
Oh, yes, I ended up meeting up with all of these guys and we've been traveling and taking on um different jobs from people. We actually got to escort some of the counselors, which was really neat. We're actually here for Agile's funeral since I
Oh,
had met him before and we were acquainted with Marble.
I
He was
had
kind
heard
enough.
Agile spent a great deal of time in the city before his death. I got to know him, and he talked about you and how you met out in Kuche.
Yeah.
He said that you were one of the bravest and most natural warriors that he's ever seen. And he let us know that you would do great things.
Mm, it's high praise from him. But he was a good man, and I am sorry that, he passed away and that now Marble's left by himself. Agile was, I think, a lot more support to him than people realized. And he was so clever and capable. I don't know if we'll ever see anyone quite like him again.
Yeah.
Anyway, like I said, we're gonna be at the funeral tomorrow. Marble invited us. So, are you gonna be there too?
I should be there.
That's good to hear.
So, will you and your friends join us for dinner tonight?
Um,
Do you already
Yes.
have other
as long as that's
plans?
as long as that's fine with everybody else, sure, we can stay for dinner.
Very well. I will send your brother out to get some additional fish for the evening.
Ah,
About
got
what
it.
time is it?
So at this point, it's mid afternoon.
Okay.
I didn't know he was back in town. That'll be fun to see him again.
Yeah. Um, just a bit of a warning. He helped fight in the battles, and he's not entirely himself anymore.
Fair. I don't know that any of us are who we used to be, but I'll keep that in mind. It'll still be good to see him. Okay. I guess if you need anything else, let me know, and I or one of my friends can probably pop out and get it.
Okay. I will be sure to let you know.
All right. Thanks, Mom. And I do appreciate you having us all for dinner.
All right. Well, it'll just be nice to have you in our home again.
I appreciate it. Um, I guess if there's not quite enough room for everyone,
Oh, we'll
um,
make space. We'll deal. We may have to sit around on the floor and not at a table, but that's
eh,
just fine.
okay. All right. I guess everybody follow me in.
Uh,
I'll
if
shuffle into your tiny house.
if I may, I would like to check on the temple. Would you excuse me for a few minutes? What time would dinner begin?
Oh, we'll probably eat around 7:30.
Very good. I shall return shortly. Thank you for your hospitality.
Okay, Ori, we'll see you in a little while.
And then I take off towards the temple.
Okay. Is there anything else anybody is wanting to do, or just Ore going off to visit the temple?
Yeah, Zerdig probably is going to try and get out of the house because he wasn't here for any of this, and it's just one of those things where he's here to be supportive, but also doesn't really know what's going on. So he'll just go with Ore.
Okay.
We're here for a funeral, so it's already sad.
Right.
Zeggy's happy to help, like fix dinner and stuff, just to kind of do something that's not ridiculous.
So are you gonna like help chop vegetables and stuff?
Yeah, sure. He'll basically help in any way he can. He doesn't. He doesn't have anything in particular he needs to do right now, and yeah, that's the plan.
All right. So, about an hour after your arrival, your brother comes through the door, and you see him. He's got several fish carrying in one hand. The other arm comes down about three-quarters of the way where he's missing the hand on that. And on his leg, you see he's missing the lower third of his leg, and instead there is a stump that has been attached to allow him to continue to walk. And you see that he walks with a slight limp.
Hey, it's good to see you again. We were back in town for Agile's funeral, and Mom invited us to stay to dinner.
Yeah. It's been a long time, sis.
Yeah, I take it you got back from whatever gig you had with the storytelling and all?
Yeah. Rumors had reached me that the city was in trouble. I couldn't let anything happen to Mom after what happened with you and then Dad, and I just couldn't let her be here
Yeah.
alone while it was happening. And well, and he just kind of holds out his arm, missing his hand. It didn't work out the greatest for me, but at least I'm here, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we can always, you know, learn new tricks, I guess. And I'm sure there's other things. I'm yeah, I'm glad you were here with Mom when it all went down. Um, DM, which hand is he missing? Dominant or non-dominant?
His non-dominant.
I
Okay.
just want to share that the urge to make a mage hand joke here is very high,
No
but
one's
I
Mizeki would not do that in this moment.
no one's stopping you.
I was
No,
just
I want to make it. Mizeki would probably not.
I mean, I was just thinking, you know, if he's used to playing a lute or something, that's that's gonna screw him up. I mean, we
Yes.
might could have we
Str-
might could have
stringed instruments are not easily played when you're missing a
We don't
hand.
have things like regeneration, right?
not yet.
Yeah, that's a 7th level, so Jesus.
Yeah, I got a way to go.
Yeah, it takes some
Oh,
powerful magic.
yeah. Which is wild. You can cure blindness with other stuff, but like,
Yeah.
we can bring you back from the dead, but we can't put your fingers back on. Sorry.
right? It doesn't that seem a little off to anyone else?
Indeed. Magic is weird like that. Alright. Ore and Zerdig, is there anything particular you're wanting to do at the temple? I know Zerdig, you're just kind of wanting to get away because you've never been here before and you don't really know anybody.
Yeah, and also just to make sure that Ore doesn't get abducted or anything. Even though he can take care of himself, but
I'm just imagining someone kidnapping Ori and he turns into a bear.
If they're lucky, it's just a bear. I could conjure all manner of lions, tigers, and bears. Um,
Oh
I,
my.
I mean, the last time you guys were in Bracknell, I guess one of your party did get abducted, so.
yeah, in a roundabout kind of way, that is what happened.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to go check on the temple, make sure that Sorrow is still around and he's okay, and see what the quality of the temple is, how much damage it sustained.
Okay. So the temple is showing very minimal damage. It's deeper into the city where less was fought, but little bits of scrapes and some chipped rock, but not much.
So cosmetic, nothing structural.
Correct.
Is Sorrow still there?
Yes.
I will visit with him. Hello, Sorrow. Um, I wanted to check on the temple. We were in town for the funeral. Um, and also to lend any aid in few nights as needed for tomorrow, if there's any preparations.
We are not doing the preparations. He was not of our temple. I believe his husband is handling all of the preparations.
I wasn't sure if we were also contributing due to his stature in town.
Anybody who wishes to contribute can, but it is not our responsibility of the temple.
Understood. How did the temple and the telescopes fare in the occupation?
It fared well. Apparently, there was a standing order to not interfere with any of the temples. So, at least their leader has some proper manners to them.
Has there been any recent development with any of the other divines? We did hear about Karitsu.
It has been a long, long time since you were last here. We are very grateful for what you discovered, and our prayers and answers that we received while you were here led us to a startling discovery. And it seems that you are well informed about what is going on. Yes, the divines are dying. It is quite alarming.
Have any further divines since Karitsu fallen?
None of the greater divines. We understand that the followers and the apprentices of Kuretsu, the lesser divines, were also slain.
For order and chaos. I did get that information as well.
Yes.
Have you been able to discern the culprit involved in the fall of the divines from your observations? Or any clues that may lead to the identity?
We do not know who they are. We believe that they are gathering followers and others to help because the number of divines that are dying is growing rapidly. When you first arrived, it was only Ayabar the Bloodless. Since then, 5 more divines have perished.
Have we gained any information on this collective that is targeting them? Location of where they're meeting, their numbers, a motivation?
Motivations are tough to discern. We have no idea on locations. They are powerful to be able to kill a divine. Their information about locations exceeds our own. I couldn't tell you where to find a single divine in this world. The fact that they have found 6 should tell you something.
Yes, I was to my party and I were able to meet with Arenwell recently. She's the one who informed me of Kiritsu, but she did not stay long to answer many questions. Have you discovered any details on how they're able to take down the divines?
You met with Lady Arenwhile.
Yes, I we assisted one of our companions in a pilgrimage to Maple Stump, and she presented herself at the end of that journey. It was a unique experience.
He speaks the truth. Zerdik will add, and then tilt his head so his elven ears are very obvious, aside from the color of his skin, since he's a drow.
You must be very special individuals for a divine to appear to you. I must confess I am envious.
You really shouldn't be.
You're not
It's
there.
like never a positive thing. I know, but you shouldn't be.
Sorrow, as a devout follower to Thalia, you shouldn't be envious. There's a lot of responsibility with being told that you're special. We don't fully understand the gravitas of what that means for us, and it is issuing a cost that we've discovered as well. Thank you for your information. Um, while I'm in town for the next day or so, if there's anything I can do to be of service, please let me know.
You are always welcome to come and attend to services within the temple.
Thank you. Always appreciated. And with that, I think we'll take our leave. I think that's the extent of information I'm getting out of Sorrow.
Right.
Zerdig will look around futilely, just while we're walking, for anything that looks like he could artifice inside of and fail. I mean, it's like pretty obvious that Bracknell does not have any sort of industry, right?
Yeah, not any major ones. There are places where you can find some workbenches, but not anything robust as what you're used to.
Yeah. So he doesn't have anything he's really working on right now. He'll use a workbench just to see, and then be like, "Bah! I can't believe this." But mainly, he was looking for other artificers that he could exchange notes with.
No artificers in Bracknell. All right. Is there anything else you all are wanting to do before dinner with Sadzi's family?
Was there a temple here or a shrine here to? I believe there was to Elondiel's goddess, because he'd probably go there.
To Arnwell?
Yes.
Uh,
I thought this is like, over a year ago, but I thought when we visited here the first time there was like a small one that he visited, but maybe I'm just misremembering.
yeah, there are small temples to various deities. I don't think there was a dedicated Arnwell one here. Let me
Okay.
check my notes. Because the
Well,
two
I mean,
major ones were Thalia and then, um,
yeah.
yeah,
Well, and we would just send him there. So just for our and viewers' knowledge, we would
right.
just send him. He would go over there and do clericy things. So that's what he's doing. But that's
Yeah,
all.
oh,
That's all. Then I'll come back.
he would definitely also be way volunteering for dinner and helping around with that, getting
Yeah.
to know Satsi's family. He's very much that type of cleric. So,
And also telling them if somebody cuts their finger, he's like, I can't help you until you pass out. I'm sorry.
yes, he is also that type of cleric.
My healing is most effective when you're at death's door. It's like, no, never mind. We'll handle it.
All right. Okay. So the rest of the time goes by as those of you back at the home are preparing dinner with Sadzi's mother and brother. As the rest of you arrive just before dinner time, you all are able to gather around on the floor, sitting around, and enjoy a nice meal together. You've
Did
got
did we meet Sadzi's brother last time we were here, or just Sadzi's mom?
last time. I don't even believe you visited her mom last time.
Oh, we don't know them at all. Got it. Okay, got it.
Like, because Sadzi wasn't ready to come back when you guys did come
Right,
back, but
right,
you did because of Sefin, who agreed to the quest, and you all came because you were asked to come find information about what was going on with the Knolls, because that was right after the Knolls attacked Drusus.
right.
And I don't remember Sadzi going to visit family. I remember Ito making friends after
Mm.
you saved him from the base out in the swamp with
Yeah,
several of the guards in the city.
we specifically did not find Sazi's family.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. We had dinner, I think, with like the mayor or somebody, but not family. Got it. Okay. It's been a minute.
Yeah, because I think at that point I was still technically banished.
No, you weren't. Marble had overrode that for you, or
Oh,
Zamza had overrode that for you.
okay. My recollection of
Yeah.
the timeline there might be a little iffy.
Right. Like, basically, Zamza gave you a note saying, "Hey, you're good," and then immediately sent you here. So, because
I have a hall pass that says I'm fine.
I have permission from the counselors, so it says I do what I want.
Whatever.
And we haven't heard any other information on Zamza. This is really just still in the wind, right?
You haven't heard anything from Zamza
Gotcha. Or
since
about
he
Zamza
went in
from
the wind
anybody
or
else.
about.
Right. Got it.
Um, but that may change now that the war is over. So,
Good to know.
because that's why he was on the run. So,
Yeah, I think he was intentionally staying hard to find because of all the
because
conflict.
they knew that he was the target. So,
Cool. I'm sorry. And this is to Sadzi's brother. I am Ore. I did not get your name before.
uh, my name is Dumai.
Nice to meet you, Dumai. like we said, none of my spells could regenerate anything that's happened to him, right?
Yeah,
Well,
regeneration's a
yeah,
7th level spell.
Gotcha.
how much would that cost? We should just send a random dude here. Go fix this guy.
Yeah. Let's see. Regeneration, 7th level spell. Let's see. Finding someone to cast that.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard to do.
I mean, heck, it'll be cheaper if you can find it to get a ring of regeneration than
That's
To pay
how
a
much?
send
cleric to
someone.
cast it.
Because
Yeah.
because
Those
a
are always good.
yeah, because a ring of regeneration is going to cost you just about the same as the spell. It'll be a little bit more, but
But
it's reusable. So, but yeah, that's the issue with high level spells. So,
reduce, reuse, reanimate.
you know, all right. So,
So, I would say sometime during dinner, I would very quietly like lean into Zirdig and not heard by anybody else, but kind of ask, would you be able to construct a replacement for his hand?
Can I DM?
you've got Tinkerer tools.
I do, but it would have to be mundane.
Yeah. So yeah, you can definitely attempt to make it. It's not something you've made before, but you're good at coming up with things like that. You know how hands work. Um, so you could definitely attempt it and see how long it would take you.
And I certainly
He'll
would
say,
assist using my hand as template if necessary.
I'm just imagining you're like, okay, here's your hand. It also shoots fire.
"That's pretty cool for a storyteller, right?"
Yeah.
All right, he'll try. Would you like me to roll some artifice?
Let's have you roll an intelligence check to sketch out a plan.
Would he get advantage by using my hand as template?
I mean, he knows what hands are. Using your hand as a
Sure.
template isn't really going to
He got a 19.
change that. Okay. Yeah, you're able to sketch out a pretty good mechanical hand, understanding the anatomy of how a hand moves. Um, and now you're just gotta figure out what materials and where to obtain them to start making it. Uh, but you
Awesome.
estimate once you have the materials, you could knock it out in a week.
How long are we scheduled to be here for with the funeral and everything?
One day, because you have 5 days before you need to be at Aegon's.
Okay. So he'll promise the brother that he'll make him a replacement hand and leg, even actually, because it's going to be a delay, but it'll be shipped here at a future date.
Hmm. So you're gonna make a fully functional, like with a foot instead of just his peg leg, like he's got right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or like a
Yeah.
hiccup prosthetic?
Zirdig is looking for a side project anyway, since he finished modifying his gun. So this is a worthy cause, and since he has the time, maybe he will augment it with some fun little surprises.
Okay. All right. Well, hopefully you find some time to actually make that and a workbench. But yeah. Is there anything anyone's wanting to talk about or have conversations with while dinner, other than just asking about the poor guy's missing limbs?
Oh, and Zerdig, I'll help you like figure out what the hand and all needs to be able to do. But I
Yeah.
guess, you know, we can talk about how is the rebuilding going? How are things here? I don't know, other awkward topics. Maybe mom wants to get down my baby albums and start showing pictures to people, or like my childhood playthings where it's like a little beaten up toy mousy.
Tattered ball of yarn,
Yep.
all sorts of various things.
There's a little mouse that when you shake it, it makes click clack noises, but one eye's missing and the tail is half chewed off.
Your first scratching post.
Yeah. The tail off of my first real kill. Just got it preserved in like a little display box.
All right.
Yeah, I was came here to be at a funeral and be sad, so I didn't have anything else planned.
Fair, fair. Okay. Well, the next day, you're all able to go ahead and get a long rest in here, but you wake up in the morning feeling rested and make your way out towards the beach where the funeral is being held. As you get there, you notice that there is a pyre set up and a body laying across it covered in cloth. Looking around, you spot many people that you recognize. All of the counselors and their golden shields are here, including the dwarven counselor and golden shield, which they were not there at the last meeting before the King's End festival at the end of the previous year, because they were dealing with the death of their gods. But they are here for Agile's funeral. In addition, Zamza is here.
Zamza is here?
Zamza is here.
Okay. I will probably be wearing my vestments just to kind of show some reverence to a funeral. And at some point, start making my way towards Zamza.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like we should at least go and, check in with Zamza and oh shoot, the dwarven counselor and anyone else that we know.
I mean, you've met all of the counselors, so you know them all. It's just which of them do you want to really go talk to?
Ore's making his way towards Zamza first.
Okay.
Sam's is cool.
All right.
Yeah. I don't know if we want to talk to the dwarf. We're gonna start a fight? Like,
Sure, we can just totally go up to them and like,
do you remember when you killed our friend?
He did not.
Yes, but he participates in the system.
okay, wait, what about your counselor, Mazeki? I forgot what her name
Tamiki?
is.
Tamiki's here.
Yeah. We can wave, I guess. Maybe not the dwarven counselor. I forgot about
Copper
Valerian.
Cloak.
Sorry. I forgot.
Forget
But
about Valeria.
yeah, and maybe if we see Marble near the pyre, we can approach and, offer our respects.
So remember, he did say all of the counselors are here. There's not somebody else you'd like to go visit?
No comment. Okay, fine, yes.
All right, so who do you all want to go speak with first then?
My
Well, go harass Samza first.
yeah, let's say hi to Zamza first, pay our respects to Marble, and then everybody else can just pretend not to notice me.
They could pretend not to notice you if they wanted.
Will they? No chance.
All right. Okay. So you go over and greet Zamza, and as he sees you, Oh, he rushes over towards you and looks at all of you and he goes, I am very grateful for all of you. And he kind of looks at all of you and then looks a little bit puzzled when he gets to Zerdig. Most of you. I'm
Well, this
sorry, I don't believe we've met. I'm Zamza. Your friends here helped get me to safety when the war started.
Zerdig will nod his head and say, "I am Zerdig of Under the Mountain."
Ah, so Counselor Coppercloak. You must know her fairly well.
Uh, yes, he nods his head and doesn't lie, but he doesn't know her well. He knows of her.
Right. So yeah, you would have seen her, but right.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And we've interacted with the counselors enough that of all the counselors, he's probably an acquaintance with her, but not like Stefan, where it's like they're
Yeah.
homies.
All right. Well, I'm glad to see you all. It is great to not be in hiding. It is just unfortunate the circumstances in which we meet again.
we're
How
happy that
are all of you?
we're happy that you are in one piece. Fear the worst. When we did not get replies to many of our messages. Did you need this back? And I will fetch the sending stone for Zamza and present it, and then follow up with, uh, "By all accounts, we are good. We have had a substantial adventure since last we've seen each other."
I would love to hear all about it. Drinks tonight after the services?
Uh, I'm assuming there's going to be lots of them. Yes, we would be happy to join you for something.
Yeah, as long as we've got time.
Very well. I look forward to hearing of your tales. It was lonely being on the run. Mickey isn't the best company, but he is a strong and vigilant protector. I would trust my life to him above all others.
It seems like you have.
He definitely kept us on the run.
How is it returning to Bracknell?
It's been interesting. Lots of paperwork and questions from so many people about why I wasn't here, what I was doing. Uh, I don't think I will be reelected. They see it as I put my own life above all of theirs when I left. And
How is his
I can't say I disagree.
how is his demeanor? Does he feel like he's hiding something in that statement, or is he pretty earnest?
He's fairly earnest. You can see that he like jumps back and forth between like joy and sadness pretty quickly as he's talking and having these conversations, um, which isn't all that unexpected given what the last year of his life has been like.
It does seem a situation most fraught. Either way, I am happy that you've survived and are in good health. And I'll kind of hold that stone up for a moment. Would you like me to keep this stone to contact you if need be,
You
or vice
can.
versa?
We've already replaced the one from the mayor that he gave you there. He's already got a new one so that he can reach me when needed.
Do you
And
still have the other side of this?
yeah, I never stopped. but it was best for me not to communicate and take chances of responding to any that I had. We never
Understood.
knew who had them.
I'll pocket the stone back, and uh, we will see you after the proceedings. Is it proceedings for a funeral? Service? I guess service is the
Services?
right word.
It's
Services?
Service or yeah, I mean, I guess proceedings isn't bad.
Yeah, like it works.
like he's like going to jail after they judge him. We'll
After
see
they
you.
judge him, yeah. Kind of think he's been judged, but
Mm.
You have been weighed and measured
Yeah.
and found.
All right. Anything else you're wanting to talk to Zamza about or ask?
no, I think I'm good with Zams at the moment. Since everybody is in gathering, is there a lead up or like an amount of time before services begin?
So there is about an hour before services are planned to begin from the time that you arrived.
Okay.
All right. Who next would you like to go and speak with?
I guess we might as well get Lord Vampire Pants out of the way.
Excuse you. Um, I was going to say we should probably make sure that we pay our respects to Marble and let him know that we're here and supporting him. And then you can, I don't know, go find yourself a good spot. How about that?
I mean, I guess.
All right. So Marble is standing over near the pyre. Next to him is the tiefling who you last saw at the last meeting with the counselors, who was standing next to Counselor Goodman at the time. But you notice at this time that Ivia is back with Goodman, and now this tiefling is watching over Marble instead.
So we're gonna just like sneak up on him. Oh, okay. Sadzi's eating.
Got it. Like, yeah, it's like waiting for someone to be like, okay.
I go into stealth.
Counselors, it is nice to see you again.
So you walk up to Marble to say that?
Well, we traveled here with Marble, right?
No, you didn't have enough room for your group in their party,
Right, we treed
Yep.
here. Right.
and
Yeah.
so you treat here on your own.
Yeah, then I'll
Treat
stand
here.
with it. Yeah.
Mhm.
It was nice again, counselors. It's nice to see you again.
Okay.
We're just sad it's for such a sorrowful occasion. I know that he'd probably be quite surprised at just quite how many people have come out. And I know some of the townspeople have probably turned out. Um, we spoke with my family yesterday and they said they would be here. So,
He really did touch a lot of people and affect their lives in a positive way.
yes, he was very clever, very brave. And I don't know that we'll see anyone like him ever again. He really was truly one of a kind.
I know.
If there's anything you need while you're in town, let me know. or ask my family, and we'll find some way to help you.
Thank you, Satsi. All right. Are there any of the other counselors that you're wanting to approach to talk to? I guess the other ones that you really know are Duke and Goodman.
Do any of my fellow adventurers want to talk to Counselor Goodman about how things are going with all of the, I guess, more political shakeup
Yeah,
in uh
that would be a good
Typhon's
idea.
Folly?
Yeah, and seeing if they finish checking out the place, that'd be good.
Goodman? Okay.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
Y'all go
let's
talk to Goodman. I'm gonna
go.
slip away.
Nice. Zirdig would prefer to talk to none of these counselors, but he'll stick around and listen.
You don't want to go
Well,
talk to Coppercloak?
I mean, at least you can try to slip in some subtle opinions while you're talking.
True, he probably would want to talk to Copper Cloak just to see how things are going back home.
Okay. So who all wants to go talk to Goodman about Typhon's Folly?
I'll
I do.
go talk to Goodman about Typhon's Folly.
Because he also wants to check on the did we clear out the lab and all?
Right. Okay. So there isn't much of an update from the last update that you guys got from them, because it's only been a couple weeks since you messaged them about it. Um, but he tells you that they are continuing to make progress on digging out the entrance to get into the lab to see what is going on in there. So, yeah, you guys made it very hard to get into or out of conveniently. So,
Yeah,
it is taking
we're
a long time.
we're good at our job sometimes.
We're a little too good at our job sometimes.
Even when it's inadvertent.
Counselor, how has discussions for an additional counselor to the of Typhon's Folly progressed?
They are making their decisions about what their nation should be called and who will lead them. We've taken your recommendations that you gave us back at the council meeting before the King's End Festival and have made those recommendations to the people. But forming a new nation is slow.
I can only imagine. Unfortunately, that's all I got. Ore is just gonna say that and kind of bow down. Is there a lot of ambient other conversations going on amongst not only just other counselors but other attendees?
Yeah, there are. And there are more and more people filing into the area that you're in on the beach as it's getting closer and closer to the start time.
With the quality of the attendees, are there any suspicious looking characters amongst the crowd? Anybody who looks like they might be trying to start something?
Go ahead and make a perception check.
I'm trying. That's an 18.
Okay. Looking around, you don't notice anybody that seems out of place or suspicious. Everybody is dressed appropriately for a funeral on the beach. Um, no one seems to have that kind of look about them like they're here to cause mischief or start something at all.
Okay. No protesters or are there any gnolls I would highly suspect no, but are there any gnolls in the crowd?
There are a few, because they weren't all bad.
Sure. I just wasn't sure what the turnout would be for something like that from them. I didn't think it would be a large contingent, but given the history, I'd kind of keep an eye on some of those as well.
Yeah. Okay.
You
And
could
then just going
also
to generally listen into other conversations as I wander about.
keep an eye out for my mom and brother, since my mom at least said she'd be here.
Are her mom and brother there?
You don't see them yet, but you still have about 30 minutes before services begin.
Gotcha.
All right. Sudsy, you wanted to go and talk with Duke?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, I did.
As you make your way over, Duke and Orion begin to walk away from the crowds and signal for you to kind of follow along and get further away from the group.
I'll follow them. Within reason.
As you follow them and make your way away from the group and away from prying ears and eyes, Duke looks at you and he goes, I'm glad we get to see you again, but I must admit, you have us rather nervous as of late. How are you dealing with your condition?
I mean, I guess just carrying on. Um,
Does it feel
the
harder lately?
honestly, I don't know if it's harder. Um, I mean, things were kind of different. So, um, we went on a pilgrimage with Elondil on the Elven island of Delastar. We're going from Delastar to Maple Stump, and that's where I was when you messaged me.
Yeah. It's, you said something that really just caught our attention, and we were quite surprised that you knew.
Okay. That whole pilgrimage was honestly really, really weird. Like, several of my friends like had these weird dreams and visions and things, but I don't know if what I had was some kind of weird dream. It seemed really real. You know, it didn't have that quality to it that makes you realize that you're dreaming. It felt very much that I was speaking and talking to you in that.
Visions can give us a sense of that, where it feels somewhere in between reality and a dream. And it can vary onto what side of that it leans toward.
Yeah, so I mean, in the vision, you were your vision double, I guess, was the one who told me about your efforts to keep me and my friends safe.
In your vision, did your condition take over?
Uh, How do you know that?
That's the only reason we would intervene in person.
So were you there or not there?
We
Because I
were
definitely.
not there.
Okay, because it definitely seemed like I was there and I was so, so thirsty. And I started doing the one thing I've always said I would never do, and that is, trying to attack my friends to assuage my thirst.
Perhaps a vision of what might be, what might come, or perhaps a vision of your greatest fear.
Honestly, I hope it's just a warning and not a predictor of things to come.
For it
I
to be
really hope.
so accurate to include our response is unusual. Given that you most likely did not know that we were even still watching you, it is worrisome to us that your vision included our response.
Well, I kind of hoped you were still watching me. I mean, I kind of figured you kept tabs on anyone that you knew that was not in or near Harrington. I mean, I kind of assumed that was something you did, to protect us all.
Not just you, but all of us. The more dangerous it gets for Harrington, the more danger that the whole world is in. And the last thing we need is people thinking it's us going out and causing all of these trouble. So we do everything we can to stop it before it happens. And obviously, we can't get to all of them. Otherwise, you would never have turned. We still don't even know who it was that got to you.
I will tell you, I will figure that out, whether you are able to or not, because I would like to have several words with them, and none of those nice.
Answers are important. I hope that you may find them.
I appreciate that. Oh, by the way, this is probably like a shitty time to be giving you something, but if you need to speak to me again, I've got a set of sending stones, and I figured you could have one, and that way, if you need to get in touch with me, that'd be easier. You wouldn't have to find someone to do a message sending.
I have plenty of people at my resources that can cast sending. But if you want to reach me, that may be the best way. And he'll reach out his hand to accept the sending stone.
And I'll fish it out of whatever bag I have at the moment and hand him one of the pair of sending stones.
Okay.
No, I have not decorated this or anything. Nope, nothing. I have restrained myself.
All right.
Totally has a cute little heart in it.
Bedazzled.
Only on the bottom.
It's been bedazzled.
You
It's
wouldn't
like
bedazzle a
bedazzled
stone.
smile with like fangs.
And little heart eyes. Um, Also, you would, just so you know, you would you would have to glue crystals on it. You couldn't do a bedazzler because bedazzlers have like little studs.
Yeah, but there's like magic. You could use magic bedazzle on it.
Well, shit, if there's magic,
I'm
why
serious,
not?
that's it for you.
Can we do
Would
magic
you have
glitter then?
prestidigitation?
Here's an important question, Sudsy. If you told us that there are dwarves dying constantly, that's a thing we know, right?
I think I did tell you because you guys kept pestering me.
Oh yeah, we harassed you until you told us. That's right.
You're good
Yeah,
at that.
I thought so.
No, Mizeki did it. There was no we.
Someone in the party.
We
Mizeki is very good at that.
privatized the profits. We socialized the blame.
Yeah. Okay. Is there anyone else that you're wanting to have conversations with? Anybody? No?
No.
Okay.
I'm sure there's things I want to say to Tamiki, but I cannot think of what they are.
Zerdig did want to talk to Copper Cloak.
Okay. So yeah, Zerdig, you're able to go over to Copper Cloak and Thessic and talk with them. As you approach, they don't really know you. They've seen you and heard about you, but they've never met you. So, what do you say?
Oh,
Hello, Counselor Coppercloak.
Yes.
Zerdig will greet her in the nature of the doors from Under Mountain. Say, I am Zerdig. You may have heard of me.
Ah, yes. And I did not know that you were from Undermountain. That was not informed to us. Given that you are an elf, you could have variously come from a few different places. So,
He seems a little surprised by this because there's only a few places that drow live here. But all right, he doesn't say anything. He just mentions, how are events under the mountain? He'll like wink at her because that's not common knowledge, about the Civil War thing going on.
it is both chaotic and exciting. There is some good news coming shortly to those who are in the know. You may find out from friends at home soon, but we hope that if you do, you'll return. And she winks.
Ah, terrific. That is great to hear. Um, he looks around and just doesn't know how exactly to say this. He'll look to Ore, but I assume that Ore is not going to stop him.
Ore would be keeping his distance, but close enough to listen in, especially with you talking to him. Is there anything I can glean from the intent of that statement, like an insight check?
Yeah, go ahead and make an insight check.
That is a 25, natural 20.
Yeah, they're talking about Undermountain secrets, and given the secret that you know about Undermountain, you're pretty sure it has to do with royalty.
But with the intent, it doesn't sound like they're trying to wipe us out, that he's going to have a chance to go home because we're all going to be...
It does not sound threatening.
Gotcha. Okay. So
There's a
it
lot
sounds
of
like they're winning.
conspiracies that are true. That one is not.
Yes.
More along the lines that their side's winning the conflict.
The Civil War is over. That ended when the Dwarven gods died.
Gotcha. Right.
Yeah.
Ooh, would, like, from kind of gleaming that, does it have anything to do with the king who returned that we freed from a mirror?
You don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still going to kind of stay close and just kind of listen in. casually.
Well, Zerdig will just cut to the chase then, and he'll just look to Coppercloak and say, um, I've been made aware that some of our friends, and he'll emphasize the word, may have been looking for me or my party. I would recommend against such an action.
We understand. And at this point, there's not really anything we can do because there is a much larger issue at hand. And your friends are the least of our concerns at the moment.
Well, perfect. I'm glad that you bring great news, Counselor Coppercloak. And let me know if I can help Undermountain in any way. I'm learning a lot from these above worlders and about artifice in every city we go to. But I will come home soon ish.
Right? Anything else that you're wanting to talk with Coppercloak about?
No, he might ask if they have any like food from home.
Oh, they do.
But so if that's the case, he'll try and get some of that because it's been a while. But that's about it.
Yeah, they've got some food, and they've got rocky candy, which is very, very popular there. So,
Nice. Well, he'll have some of the normal food. He's not as much of a sweet tooth, but he'll take a couple rock candies just for sentiment.
or to give to Mizeki, because you've been seeing Mizeki snacking on him for the last year.
Yeah, but he's got like a bunch of them, so
I mean, he's got to be
maybe.
running low because he couldn't restock at the last festival.
I have 43 left.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting like literally 2. So no, Zerdig will keep his 2 to himself.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else have anybody else that they're wanting to talk with before services begin?
Not necessarily engage with, but listening in on conversations as I kind of mosey through the crowd. Do I pick up any interesting tidbits of news in kind of just general listening in?
No, most of the conversation is just about Agile and how everybody got to know him. A bit of it is about the reconstruction efforts of the city and what is to be done going forward. You hear a few bits and pieces of people talking about who they're going to vote for in the next election and suggesting that Zamza is not the correct choice anymore, given what he did. And
And that's just local. That's not necessarily like replacing uh, Marble.
correct, Marble is the
Okay.
Grand Counselor, and Zamza is just the counselor over the Wild.
Right. 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 Right.
So,
I don't remember if we talked about this, but did Elandiel make like a art of Agile or anything? That
uh,
seems like something he would do.
yeah, and that's probably what he is doing is drawing a picture of Marble and Agile from his memory.
Okay, cool.
Um,
I just
as
wanted to bring that up because it seems like something he would definitely do.
Yeah, for sure. So, alright, back to conversations that you're hearing. The name Plazat is getting thrown around um, as a possible.
Lazat?
Yeah. Which, do you recall who that is?
I
I
thought
not
he
off the
was
top of my
dead.
head.
No, no. So,
He was like the turtle
Mayor, yeah.
mayor. Yeah. I thought they killed him though.
No, the Null Mayor was who died.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
Yeah,
there's a
like,
lot of dead mayors. It's not this one.
yeah. The Null Mayor, like, he was the one that you guys ended up trying to protect because Ore insisted on staying, um, and like was willing to abandon the party to stay, so you all stayed. But yeah,
So it's Plazat's a front runner. Who else was in the running for votes?
so that is the main name that you're hearing. A few of the others you've not heard of anything, and so the names just kind of come and go. So,
Gotcha. Okay.
all right. But with that, it'll wrap up and services will begin. Everyone has arrived. Sadzi, your mother and brother find you in the crowd and join you in your area where you're standing with your friends. And Marble gets up and stands next to the pyre. They are looking out towards the crowd of everybody that's gathered here. And he goes, Agile was a wonderful man. I had the pleasure of knowing him for many, many years. As I began to pursue a political career, Agile was always right there beside me. When I won, he happily signed on as my protector. We had the pleasure of serving this community for many years. In that time, we grew close and eventually were married in a small ceremony. Agile always looked for and saw the best potential in others. He was always happy to lend a hand to those in need. And in addition to his role as a golden shield, he worked tirelessly to make our homeland a safer place. He was one of the first to see of the coming war and took action to help in every way he could. On one particular trip to Kuche, he came home early, reporting the increase of the dangerous rhetoric that was going around the city and of a coming battle between Bracknell and Kuche. He mentioned that he encountered a wonderful tabaxi who had been on the run from Bracknell. She'd found herself in Kuche alone and was ambushed. She fought, and Agile stepped in to assist. It was that moment that he decided to come home and to tell me what was going on. He stated there was something special about her, an aura that he knew meant great things would come from her. He allowed her to return to the mainland in his cabin aboard the ship. A few months later, he was happily surprised to see her in Drusus, she along with a group of her friends, fighting off the Null incursion. He later remarked they all possessed this same aura, and requested that we send them to investigate the going-ons between the Nulls and the Tabaxi here in the wilds. They uncovered many things that we had speculated of, and Agile said it would be a losing battle had they not interfered. He believed this group was only a part of a larger group of special individuals. He volunteered to lead an army to win the fight based off of what they found and what they uncovered. He helped everybody he could and protected the city of Bracknell while it was in danger. I know many here will miss him now that he is gone. He was my everything. I'll miss him more than he'll ever know. I only wish that we could have gotten to grow old together, but that was not in the plans. Agile Shadow, you are loved, you are missed, and you'll always be remembered. Thank you for letting me spend part of my life with you. And with that, several of the counselors all come forward, lighting torches as they go, and set the pyre ablaze. Several bards begin to play, setting off a sweet sound of remembrance and peace. As the flames burn, the crowd begins to slowly walk around and disperse. What would you all like to do?
I'm just gonna be sad. Um,
I take note of what was said and quietly say a prayer to Thalia, kind of sending him on his way, um, with my own tribute, quietly.
All right.
I'm just gonna stand there and watch the pyre burn for a little while at least.
Okay. As you do, you watch as the smoke billowing up into the air. For a moment, you see a figure in the smoke in the shape of a tabaxi, slowly moving up as the smoke drifts higher and higher into the air. And you see the figure wave as it slowly disappears.
so now we go drink, right?
Now you can go drink. You did promise Zamza that you would meet for drinks.
Is there a wake, or are we just sad and then we drink while we're sad?
So there are several people that are getting together at the local tavern, and everybody is kind of just doing their own thing. There isn't a formal celebration or wake here at all.
I guess we will start to make our way towards the drinking place.
Okay. You're able to make your way there, where you are greeted by Zamza upon your arrival. Drinks are free tonight, so no worry about cost. Uh, but you all get your first round, and Zamza proposes a toast to Agile and to his memory.
To Agile.
To Hedgel.
Zaki's just gonna cry.
As
Wow.
you all deal with your first drink and the toast, Zamza waits until you're all a couple drinks in, as he is as well. So, I believe you owe me some stories about your adventures. Anything you'd like to tell me? Any thrilling adventures that you've been on?
Well, we did battle an ancient wizard using druid craft to bring down the region known as Typhon's Folly. He was Typhon, or a duplicate, as I understand.
Clone body thing. Magic is confusing and complicated.
He experimented on children. That was purely frowned upon, but we ended that endeavor, as far as we understand.
Yeah, so you're watching and he's reacting in all the right spots to your story as you're describing it. And giving you the proper reactions. And he just nods and goes, "That's a very good thing that you did. The fact that that has been going on for so long. Typhon is ancient. However he managed to stay alive, it is good that you ended it."
He was merged with some sort of a abomination of a plant.
Experiment gone wrong, I assume.
That's the best guess we've got right now. I think they're investigating it over in Typhon's Folly, but we haven't heard anything really more.
What is Zamsa? He's a tabaxi,
Tabaxi.
right?
Yeah. Yep.
We assisted our friend Alondiel in the pilgrimage to Maple Stump. That was a harrowing experience of visions and destiny.
Good visions?
No.
I am sorry to hear
Kind
that.
of inconsistent amongst our party. I believe several of us have had some positive ones, but I think the purpose of the visions is more to discover something internal of ourselves.
And also experience trauma. That is apparently a
Yeah.
core.
And apparently freak out some of our friends.
Sounds exhilarating, to be honest.
I could do without that kind of exhilaration.
It was terrifying. A triumphant tale now that it is past, but definitely not one that was enjoyable in the moment.
All right. So as you're having these conversations and as you continue drinking, a few more stories deep, a few more drinks deep, um, Sadzi, you hear your name be called across the way by the voice of your mother. You turn and you look, and she's holding out a piece of paper and walking towards you.
Okay, I will go stumble over and see what this paper says.
And,
Assuming I can read.
and she looks at you and he goes, "It took me a while to find this, but your friend left it here when he passed through the city um, a few weeks back. He said that if I ever came home that I should give it to you."
Friend, what was his name? What did he look like?
He was a Leonin fellow.
Did he look military? Maybe say his name was Valerian?
Um, he definitely looked military. He didn't give his name,
Okay.
but
Can
he
I open
said
the
he knew
paper?
you.
Yeah. Um, he joined our group for a bit. Can I open the paper and read it?
You can. So you open it, and you see that it is addressed to your entire group, minus Zerdig, of course, who Valerian never met. He goes, "I have been freed. No thanks to any of you. I am working out a deal. I have kept you out of it. Do not interfere with anything you hear I am doing, or we will stop you."
Okay. Um, I'll just fold the note back up and stick it in my pocket. Thanks for giving this to me, Mom. I appreciate it. I guess drinks are free right now, so do you want to sit with us? Maybe have an ale or something?
No, I need to get home and get to bed. It is getting quite late.
That's fair. Um, we'll probably be leaving tomorrow. We have a job over in Manway. Um, I don't know if we'll be able to see you again before we leave, though. So let me
Alright.
give you a hug, and I'll see you. I'll try to keep in touch a little better than I have been.
Yeah, and don't stay away so long this time.
I'll try not to. It's gonna depend on how this job that we're doing goes, but I'll try to make my way back here sometime after that.
All right. Okay. Is there anything else you're wanting to do for the evening? Or do you find a place to crash and get some rest?
I'm going to hand the note to Ore, and then I am going to order 2 Long Islands and tip the bartender so that he'll make it extra strong.
Okay, that can be done.
Zaki's just going to keep drinking until they stop giving him drinks.
Okay.
Ore nurses like just a half pint of whatever for the entire time, and is just kind of paying attention as everybody gets slowly toasted into the evening.
Okay.
There is no slow. We are going straight for full burn.
Gotta go fast, right?
I'm fast as heck, boy!
Okay. Well, you're all able to drink until you can't drink anymore, and then find a place to rest and sleep for the night. In the morning, you all wake up hungover. I guess except Ora, who didn't really drink.
And I don't think I can get hungover. I have uh, resistance to poison. I don't know if that would prevent me from ever getting drunk.
hmm But you now have 3 days before you need to be in Manway at Aegon's place. What do you want to do? You now have this new bit of information about Valerian.
Well, Sadzida, you have not shared that with us yet,
She gave it to you
right?
last night.
Oh, she did give it to us last
I
night.
gave it to you, and then I
You gave it to me
proceeded to
specific.
drink
I
myself
apologize. I
into
didn't catch
oblivion.
that.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that. So yeah, I would have read that and then kind of just been thinking about it and thinking about it all night. Um, in the morning, I would probably share with the rest of the crew once everyone is up and active. Uh, apparently, we received a note from Valerian. Doesn't appear to be very pleasant, but he is free.
Glad he's free. I don't care if we see him again, and I don't really want to mess with him if he's got something going on. Ugh. Can we turn out the sun?
Is it lesser restoration that limits this on somebody?
Yes.
I cast it on Sadzi. Does that
Oh,
help?
lesser restoration also does poisoned, so I guess, I mean, getting drunk is technically poisoning yourself.
Yep.
Yep. Thank you. I'm gonna go drink some water and maybe find some willow bark or something.
Certainly, rehydrate. If you can, have some yogurt. It'll help with the gut biome that the alcohol destroyed last night. Does anyone else need help?
No, Zurich didn't really drink that much. He should be fine.
The pain is a part of the process.
The offer stands for any who need it. Londiel?
He's good. He'll cast it on himself.
I figured as much.
He's also probably didn't get that drunk. Elundia's fairly responsible. So, all right. Well, the day is yours. What would you all like to go do?
Is there any other pressing business? Or should we make preparations to go to the floating isles?
And let me check my stores of shall we say protein shakes, quote unquote.
You just restocked them before coming here. That was one
Oh,
of
I
the things
did?
you did in Drusus. Yeah.
Sorry. Booze must have rattled my memory.
You did
Okay.
get like a cold storage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have like
Yeah,
these cold storage. I have coolers and Mizeki's keeping them.
we have a chest that specifically makes food not decay.
Cool.
Okay. So I'm good. I'm stocked and I got to give the sending stone where I wanted it to go. So whenever y'all are ready, I'm ready.
I am ready at any time. Any last business?
Mizeki, Zerdig, anything?
Nothing from Elondiel.
Nothing from Zerdig.
Mizeki?
What's up,
Who
Greg?
has the transit stone to the floating isles?
Mizeki
Uh,
does.
I do, yeah. Are we gonna go over there drunk?
Well, you're hungover. I'm better. Alondiel cast or no, not Alondiel.
I feel
Orin
like
cast
today is the
lesser
day of mourning.
restoration.
Yesterday we had the funeral, and today we mourn. You guys can go do stuff, but Mizeki's not going to undrunk himself today. He's going to let that happen naturally.
Aren't we traveling today?
We have 3 days.
I thought so. Yeah, but you know, I don't know. Are there time
Hmm,
zones over on Manway?
Mizeki, could I see the stone, the transit stone? I am just curious of
I mean,
something.
it's not like he's got it like in a secret place. It's just in the bag.
Okay,
Yeah.
Ori will fish out the stone and look at it for a moment and kind of nudge Sadzi and Zirdig and Alondia to like get in close. I'm gonna grab Mizeki's hand. I'm gonna crush the stone.
Okay.
Sneak attack.
All right. So you have everybody gather in. They all grab hands. You grab Mizeki and crush the stone, and you feel yourselves all being turned into little bits and pieces of dust as it swirls around you. And as it stops and you begin to feel yourself again, you find yourself standing high atop a mountain overlooking this vast desert. You look around and there are a few uh, Thrycreen standing about, who all just kind of look at you that you've appeared out of nowhere. The sun is high in the sky. It's about early afternoon when you arrive. Given that it was early morning when you left, this is quite the change.
I apologize for the abruptness of that, Mizeki. I just felt we needed to mourn our losses by putting our time into service.
I want to clarify. We're now outside somewhere, right? And the
Yes.
sun is. So Mizeki's not going to answer. He's just going to scream in pain
Yes. Bright sunshine.
because we were inside and now we are outside.
Yep.
And it was teleported, which may also potentially be discomforting.
Oh god, I don't even want to think about how being turned into fragments of dust and spun around while hungover would be I'd be surprised if you and I weren't, like, puking.
Magic. All right. The view is quite spectacular from up here. So, after a moment of your arrival, as you are all just standing there and Mizeki is screaming, um, you hear a voice inside your head. Uh, who are you? And how did you get here? And why are you screaming?
We were tasked with helping to solve the dilemma of your immobile mountain. Did we get the name of the guy who hired us originally? What was his name?
Aegon.
We
Uh,
did somewhere, yeah.
we were initially tasked by Aegon.
Ah, you are the group Aegon has been waiting for. One moment, and the voice ceases to be speaking inside your head. A couple minutes go by, and the voice reappears inside your head. We're connecting you to the hive mind. Be ready. And a few seconds later, you hear several voices inside your head. They all sound almost like nothing, but you can hear that they're speaking. When people are addressing you specifically, you're able to understand them entirely. And you hear the voice of Aegon that you recognize. I wasn't sure that you were coming after all. You cut it very close.
Mazeki's going to mind yell at Ore.
Wait, are we all in on this or only Ore?
You are all in on this. You are
Yeah,
all
you
now
freaking
connected to the hive mind.
Oh, unpleasant.
You're now constantly surrounded by a crowd of people that you can't see.
Aegon goes, where are you currently? I will make my way towards you.
We
How
are on a mountain top in the floating isles. Ore not really knowing how this whole thing works.
I will make my way up top and find you.
We will wait for you here.
You can talk normally. You don't have to, like, spend a bunch of time on each word. Just
Thank
think and
you.
we'll hear.
Understood.
we had to go to a funeral. Important people died. The sun is far too bright.
We will get you out of the sun soon enough.
I mean, I can lesser restoration you, and it can stop hurting.
Pain is a part of the process.
All right. So a few minutes go by with you guys having this conversation between yourself, and there you see Aegon making his way up towards you. He is accompanied by a dragonborn at this time. And he goes, I am glad that you have made it. It is good to see all of you again.
It is nice to see you as well.
Yeah,
This
Zerdig will rush up to greet him as well.
this is my friend Odrith. He has signed on to help protect the city now that we are stationary. The desert is a dangerous place when we are no longer moving. And he indicates the dragonborn that has come up with him. Let me pull up his information because I forget which kind of dragonborn he is, other than he's metallic, but I don't remember the specific metal. Let me go grab him. He is bronze. A bronze dragonborn.
Hello, I am Ore, and we are. We don't have a name yet, right? We've never settled on one, right?
You have never settled on one.
Never
We
settled on a
are
name.
anarchist revolution.
Mhm.
We
We are
are
the
here to
children of
help.
the revolution.
You hear the voice of the dragonborn in your head. It is nice to meet you. It'll be good to have an end to this problem. I grow tired of staying in one place.
Can you reiterate the details of what exactly happened? Did the mountain just stop, or was it preceded by some sort of an event?
Aegon resumes speaking to answer your question. One morning there was a violent shaking. We thought that we were being attacked by bullets, land sharks. And when the shaking stopped, the mountains stopped. We have not moved since. It has been months. We
And
have
was it just
become easy raiding for the scorpion riders of the desert.
how soon after the mountain stopped did you get raided by the Scorpion Raiders?
It was within the first week that they found us stationary and we were attacked. It
Is there
was at that point I began searching for anybody that could help.
was there any indication that the Scorpion Riders were to blame for stopping the mountain?
Not that we know of. They are just dangerous, and when you are out in the desert wandering, if they find you, you normally do not survive. The benefits of being on a mobile mountain that moves through is you're harder to catch and harder to pin down. The mountains do not move very quickly, but it is dangerous to be in front of them when they are.
Is there other mountains that have stopped as well, or just this one?
Not that we know of. We still see a few mountains off in the distance passing by every now and then, but
No other mountains that are closer by that may have also been affected.
none that we are aware of.
Do you understand the means by which the mountain normally moves?
We do not understand why it moved and why it stopped. I have done some research, and we believe that back before the mountains began to move, a great mage of some sort enchanted all of the mountains to continually move and carve a path throughout the desert. We believe the source of this magic is still back in the mountain range that we split from, the dragging teeth on the western coast that go from the far south to the far north. There is a gap in the middle, which is where our mountain split out of.
Interesting. Are there any details of the mage or his whereabouts in the dragging teeth?
This was thousands of years ago. We have no
Understood.
information on what became of them or who they were. We don't even know if it is true anymore. Some say we always moved.
It is at least a good start in trying to discern a way to restore that capability.
So, The desert is a dangerous place to wander, but I suggest you begin by making your way west towards the coast, and then north until you find a mountain. From there, hopefully, you can find any indication of how the split began. As he has this conversation, he begins leading you down the mountain. As he does, you notice that there are several tunnels that are carved into the mountain, and he begins to lead you into them to where it gets dark. Anybody without dark vision, Jin, you can't see anything in front of your face after about 60 feet of walking into any of these tunnels.
Well, uh, I'm blind now. Or a help. Wait, don't you? Can't you give us like regular
I can
for a
for an
while?
hour,
Yeah,
but it might just be more prudent to light a
just wait.
torch.
Yeah. Do we have any torches? I
I'm
don't.
sure.
I sold all of mine.
I pull out my silver sickle and it glows with moonlight.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Giving off just a little bit of light. You're able to see as the tunnels go where they expand and open up, and you'll see that there are several um, homes carved into the mountain as well, where people live and stay.
How
So
how tall are these mountains?
So from
Or
when you
this
were
mountain
up
at least.
top estimating, you estimate that you were about 1,000 feet up above the surface.
Okay.
Pretty tall.
hmm Don't jump off of it.
only 1,000 feet though?
I mean, that's still very, very high.
They're very small mountains, but big for you to jump off of.
Well, yeah, wouldn't want to jump off of it. I bet Zerdig's feeling right at home with all of the under mountain tunnels and stuff, and this explains why they didn't just pick up and move to another mountain.
Yeah. Zerdik, the architecture is very, very different than what you're used to in Undermountain.
Uh huh.
So it doesn't remind you that much of home. Just the darkness. So that's pretty much the only commonality.
Yeah, come on, guys. Just because you're under the ground doesn't mean that you're home.
How deep do your tunnels go into the mountain? Do they go below the sand line of the
Uh,
exterior?
it does not.
Were you the ones that carved these tunnels, or were they here naturally?
Our people carved them out over the years, but they have been here my entire life.
I see. What are the most common dangers of the desert sands?
Well, the most common dangers is the desert heat in the middle of the day and the freezing cold in the middle of the night. The rapid change in temperatures can be difficult to handle. You may find yourselves exhausted just moving about from day to day. Finding cover from the hot sun is recommended. Finding warmth from the cold night is necessity.
So pretty normal desert things.
Pretty normal desert things.
Why is it
And
so
the
dark?
scorpion riders.
Huh?
Why is it so dark?
Because we're inside the mountain, we're
Well,
now
yeah.
several hundred feet into its surface.
do you guys use lights around your homes and stuff though, or is it just going to be like this the rest of the time?
Uh, Not many people here have need for such light. We have adapted to survive here.
So this means that a bunch of them are basically colorblind all the time. Wild.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you have any information on where the Scorpion Raiders strike out from? Do they have a nearby stronghold?
We have often seen them coming from the north, but they are wise and have attacked us from many different sides over the several months that we have been stationary. They roam the deserts, a band of barbarians. They are deadly, but no more so than the desert itself.
Is there any other outstanding geography in the surrounding territory in the sands or to the west that we may be of interest or need to seek sanctuary from if we're traveling?
If you continue north instead of heading towards the west, towards the coast, you will eventually find the Thousand Lakes. Scattered throughout the entirety of the northern edge of the desert, there are many lakes with many small villages set up by them. A more hospitable part of the desert to live in. If it weren't for the mountains, we wouldn't be able to live in the desert where we do. One of the unfortunate things about being stationary is our resources have become more and more limited, as we aren't passing by various places where we can gather them. We have had to send many people out who have not returned. Our numbers slowly dwindle.
What resources are you short of currently?
We are rationing water at this point.
Can any of us create water?
Yes.
I think
Yolanda,
Alondiel can.
I
we
believe I can as well
yeah,
tomorrow.
you just have to prep it.
Yeah.
You both probably have to prep it.
Yeah, I don't know what he's got prepped right now.
Create water is level 1, right?
I think you can upcast it for more water.
Yeah, I only have level 1 cleric spells, so it has to be a level 1 spell to do it.
Yeah,
But I
create or
can see
destroy
what I
water
have.
is a first level spell. It creates 10 gallons of clean water within range in an open container, or as rain in a 30-foot cube,
Right.
Yeah, and you can upcast it, and every level is 10 additional gallons of water. Or
which,
the cube size increases by 5 feet, so whatever
yeah.
that math out to.
Don't do we have a jug? Do we have a never-ending jug?
If we can cast it,
Not yet.
specifically create food and water would be better. Not because it will make more water, but the water is specifically doesn't go bad.
Yeah.
And food would also help as well, I would assume.
Yeah, the food only lasts 24 hours. But
Do they
Oh,
have
well.
crops that they're trying to grow?
No.
Okay. Because I was just thinking I have grow plants,
plant stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
which I mean you could kind of fudge that for fungi, I guess.
Yeah. So it can definitely help grow fungi. So
So if that's something that they need some help with, I can do that for them.
yeah, that can definitely help. So let's see here. Get Alondiel open and see what spells he has prepared. But if not in the morning, he can prepare. Create food and water. Spells. He does have create food and water prepared, so he's going to go ahead and spend all 3 third level spell slots to create a bunch of water for them. And the 4th level
90 gallons.
and the 4th level spots. And he's like, and we will just need to stay here before setting out in the morning.
Agreed.
And Aegon continues leading the way through the tunnels down to the lower levels, where he finally welcomes you into his home. It's fairly cozy, especially now that there are 8 people in it, because there's 6 of you and then 2 of them. And it was not a space designed for that many people. And Aegon goes, I am so very grateful that you have come. I know it's not much, but there is plenty of space for all of us to find a spot to sleep on the floor and rest up. In the morning, I hope that you will be able to set off and hopefully find a solution for us.
We hope so as well. Any other information we should have about the surrounding desert that may be of use?
The Scorpion Riders are the worst of the raiders, but there are others. There are various creatures to be wary of approaching throughout the desert. You might encounter a few land sharks while you are out, so just be aware of any little signs of movement in the sand. They do not currently have beer.
I figured it couldn't hurt to ask.
Yeah, no, when you start rationing your water, you stop using your water for other things.
Oh, I meant the land sharks.
The land sharks have beer? No. You fought a
So
few of them already.
if this mountain is 1,000 feet high,
Mm-hmm.
what's the area at the base? Like how much ground surface does it take up?
So it takes up at the base. It's a 5,000 foot diameter across,
Oh,
and it's not quite a full circle, but yeah, it's fairly large as you get to the base.
gotcha.
So
How steep is it up the hill, up the mountain, from the sand to their tunnels?
from the sand to their tunnels, they have plenty of tunnels that come out at the sand because that's how their people get out. So there are
Gotcha.
tunnels that spill out right onto the sand. But it's essentially cliffs if you're just trying to climb from the outside up to the top.
Aegon, I would. Do they have any defenses at the entrance to the cave?
They
At
have
the
a few guards stationed, but as they told you when they initially asked you to come, they don't have a lot of people that are trained to fight. Um, and so, like, they've had to hire, which that's what Odrith is. He's one of their hires to help protect the city. You also see
Gotcha.
that Aegon now has a big old pike that he's using and carrying around with him that he did not have back in the city, and so he's learned at least some fighting skills in the 2 months since you were recruited.
It may be beneficial if you're able to close off as many of the tunnels lower to prevent raiders from entering.
We've only got one that comes in at the moment.
Understood. Okay,
Do the
so we're
raiders have to compete with other local fauna, or just you?
right now, just us in this area. Occasionally, as other mountains pass by, they have to compete with them as well.
Mizeki, this may help you while we're down here, and I actually have a lantern of revealing I can give you.
Sure. Yeah, I forgot I turned off my dark vision.
Yeah, so the lantern of revealing is kind of cool. It's got 30-foot radius bright and 30-foot dim, and invisible creatures and objects are visible as long as they are enters bright light.
Sure. Yeah. I'll gladly take that and hold on
Cool.
to it for a bit.
Okay. So you've got a lantern of revealing that you're using.
Yeah, I had it in my inventory. Somebody gave this to me, and I can't remember who did.
It's
I don't know
from
if it's something.
Zerdig.
It was
Yeah,
from
it's
Zurich,
one
right?
of his what the heck are they called?
Uh,
Artificial infusions.
infusions. Yeah. Okay.
So if he ever needs that slot back, it'll stop working, but
I
he's
was,
Cool.
all good.
I was gonna say I don't remember giving you guys this. I was so when he said someone, I was like, I don't know who would have given you
Well,
this.
I
But
know I knew someone gave it to me, but I couldn't remember the circumstances from it. And I
yeah,
think Zerdig gave it to us
which makes
Yeah.
sense.
when we were still under the mountain,
Yeah,
if I
Yep.
remember right. Yeah.
Yeah, because people were having trouble seeing. And then basically the morning after, or maybe 2 days after he gave it to you guys, it was like, we're out. So
yeah, right. Because it's what Mizeki and is it just Mizeki? Did Tabaxi have dark vision?
She has dark vision because of her
yeah.
vampireness, but
Yeah. Oh right,
Tabaxi, I think, do normally have dark vision.
right. But she's
yeah.
not a Tabaxi anymore. She's
Right.
Even if I
Right.
didn't, I think Dampier also naturally have dark vision.
right. Yeah, which that would override if the yeah, which Tabaxi do
Yeah.
as well. So I was just like, yeah. So yeah, so it's just Mizeki now that Ito's gone that doesn't have dark vision in this group because Ore is his special cleric thingy. So
A crazy good 300 feet of dark vision. I
yeah,
like it.
yeah. All right. So, anything that you're wanting to do, explore, or just curl up and take a rest for the evening?
I the only thing I'd want to do is from an early or higher up vantage point kind of look out over the sands and kind of take note of the as much of the horizon as I can, geography, mountains, anything else that's moving,
Mm-hmm.
be able to try and discern distance to wherever we're going. And once I guess also take a general heading with the astrolabe to see if I can get some bearings.
Okay. Yeah. So you were told to head west towards the coast, and you see no signs of mountains in that direction or a coast. So you imagine you're really far away.
Sure. And nothing really noticeable to the north or south from where we're at.
Correct.
So there's just a big blank ass desert over there.
Yeah,
Okay.
like you're almost directly in like the center, as close to the center of it as you can get, as far as you can tell. Like looking in every direction, it's just an ocean of sand.
Fun.
So, which I mean, Miseki, this isn't all that unusual for you. It's just weird to be on top of a mountain and looking down into the sand.
This is probably one of the highest places up he's ever been, that he can like see the land around him.
Mhm. Right?
It's probably very upsetting, but he's already still hungover, so
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, if there's nothing else, then you can all go ahead and take your long rest. And in the morning, you can head out into the desert. And given that we're close enough to our ending time, we will go ahead and end our session here with you getting ready to head out into the desert away from the mountain that you arrived at, and with your new goal to uncover the secrets of this mountain. But thanks so much, everybody, for coming, for hanging out, and for watching with us tonight. We all had fun, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye.